What's up, everybody? Hi, welcome. We're back. I've been out of town, but we're back. We're gonna talk about this tell-all part 1 of 4. We're gonna get into some after show for this tell-all. Gina and I are gonna discuss it with you guys. I know it's been a hot minute since you've seen us, but we're back. Gina's here. What's up, Jal? What's up, Coast to Coast? I have a million questions for you and perspective questions. So I'm ready. I'm ready to get into this. What's up, Kathy? What's up?
Hello.
So we just watched part 1 of 4 of the
Yeah.
tell-all.
Yeah, we did.
I have a question for you. So this was the happily ever after tell-all. Not much happened. It's a weird angle. Not much happened this season. But do you feel like they released a little too much? Like we got Natalie tonight. We got Dana and Michelle tonight. Do you feel like they pulled all of the tricks out of the bag? Because what do we really have left? Because we have the Libby, Andre, Lauren, and Alexi, and the other ones. We have that drama and Jovi and Yara, but other than that, Cara and Guillermo are gonna be there. So do you feel like watching part 1 might be all we need to watch?
I think so. Like I saw what to see. Hi Cam. I saw what I needed to see.
I mean, I felt like it was a good show, but it's weird to release so much information on the first one. Like it was part 1. Hey Kim, I don't know, but I want to get into some of the stuff that we saw tonight because there was some toxic
Well, here's
behavior.
the thing. Here's the thing. They want to intrigue us like, oh, what could happen next week? So they're obviously like, just like Jasmine throwing the shoe at Rob, like, okay, if this was good, then it's gonna just get better from here. And really, it doesn't. We have such high hopes for TLC and 90 Day Fiance. Then we're just like left disappointed. Like I really didn't need a 4-part tell-all.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree. I do feel like I'm trying to find. I don't know. This guy moved. This angle is weird, Gina. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so I don't know. I felt like it was a lot that happened tonight. I was thoroughly entertained, but I'm like I said, I'm worried that the next 3 episodes I'm just gonna be bored because at this point I don't really know what there is left. Because Julia said that she hasn't told Brandon's parents, Ron and Betty, that she's pregnant. So that's coming up. She's supposedly 6 months pregnant, right? And I remember her complaining a lot that Betty had a key to their house and she was always around. So it would be difficult for me to believe that Betty has not snooped around.
Unless
And
they change the locks.
I mean, they could have. They could have. But Betty, I think Brandon would let her in if he was home, right? I feel like it would be really difficult for them to stay away for the whole 6 months. So I don't really know if I believe that Julia's been hiding her pregnancy this long. Like, I'm not buying that. I feel like that's
You
probably
know what? It doesn't faze me because I haven't seen my sister-in-law in years and we live in the same city.
for real.
For real.
So do y'all not get along? Does she not go to Thanksgiving? Like, how does that work?
No.
Okay, that's weird, Gina. Like, y'all live. She's family, so like, how do you
No,
go? How do
she's
you?
not. She's my brother's wife. She's not family.
That kind of makes her family, Gina. Like, she's.
No.
Yes, it does. Like, if it's Thanksgiving, she would be invited. That makes her
We don't even
family.
do Thanksgiving. We don't do like we don't do like Christmas. We don't do Easter anymore just because my mom can't, right? So that's the thing. We don't see each other, right? So I haven't seen her in like years. Do I have a desire to see her? No.
I mean, but Betty is like Brandon's number one cheerleader, though. So, like, how is it that she's seeing Brandon, but she's not seeing Julia? And Julia ain't got no job. She ain't got nowhere to be. Like, how do they always make it to where she has? Like I said, I think it's bullshit. But I want to get into something that Jasmine did tonight. So Gino arrived at the tell-all mansion, and he left his luggage up front. And Jasmine found the luggage, and she did something nasty, right? So she poured a drink in his book bag. She rubbed strawberries on his luggage, but then she did something a little strange. She took off her underwear and she rubbed it all over his luggage and then put it in his luggage. What is that? What is
I
that?
don't know. I don't like. I replied to your tweet. I'm like, this is like a dog marking her territory.
But she doesn't want him. So that
I
was so
know. I don't
that's
know.
I was so confused because I was like, that is what, you know, when you're marking your territory, you rub or spit or pee, you know, it's weird. It's barbaric. But she doesn't want him. She literally arrived at the tell-all with her baby daddy slash boyfriend slash fiance, you
Slash
know, so
roommate.
right. So what was the purpose of her rubbing her underwear on his, because, you know, I'm from the South and we believe in voodoo. You know, we believe in that type of stuff. So I was like, because that's a voodoo thing, like rubbing your underwear on somebody or what, or some, that's kind of like a spell, right? Like when you're trying to get someone to see things your way or get someone back. But
I do
I,
not need any pieces of my luggage smelling like Jasmine's punani. Thank you. No, I would have that shit burnt.
that was so weird. Oh, someone says it was probably a curse to torture him.
Probably.
Probably. I mean, you know what? I don't. I'm not a witch, so I don't know like specifically what it looks like. So maybe that was it. She wanted him to be tortured. But she made it very clear at the house that she's ready to tell her side of the story, which I'm kind of interested in hearing because she's gonna try to.
No, we've been
No, Gina.
hearing her side for so long. I'm
But
done.
she's gonna try to justify her actions, and I'm curious to know what she thinks makes what she did right. Because you know, I've been very open with everybody, and I've told everyone I'm not Team Jasmine and I'm not Team Gino. I think they both have accountability on both ends, right? I
We
can't.
already know what she's going to say, George. She's going to say, he wasn't satisfying me sexually. We decided to move to this path and put sprinkles and lollipops and gumdrops all over it. That's how it's going to roll with this one.
Well, I want to hear if she has something new to say because Dana said tonight that he's been holding on to some information, and he said that Gino told him a week after Jasmine arrived that he didn't want to be with her anymore. Do you, first of all, do you believe that? Because
Hell
honestly,
no.
you don't.
No.
I do. I mean, I've never met Jasmine physically, but I assume after spending 7 days with her in the same household, I would feel the same way.
I don't
So,
believe anything that comes out of Dana's mouth.
well, I also think Dana is a snake. And if that's the way your family treats you, you know, I don't consider, well, for me, family is not blood, it's chosen. So I feel like Dana is a snake, and you know, with family like that, who needs enemies? That's basically hanging out with the mob. Hey
Hey, Lana.
Lana, hi
Hey,
Eileen,
Lana.
hi Shelly.
Birds of a feather flock together.
I mean, the fact that they showed up to the tell-all to drag Gino and to take Jasmine's side, it really says a lot. Because at the end of the day, family is your family no matter what. And, you know, I was raised in the deep South, down South, and my family is like this, you know, and no matter right or wrong, we're going to support each other. So the idea that they support Jasmine over their own flesh and blood, and Dana said something tonight that really irked me. He was like, you make it so easy for me to not like you. And I was like, see, if a family member ever spoke to me that way, first of all, call the police because we're going to fight. First of all, call the police because somebody is going to need a stretcher. Because if you spoke to me like that in my presence, we will fight. But second of all, the fact that he still considers them family, because you have to cut people off when they show you who they really are. And the fact that he hasn't cut these people off shows me that he doesn't have the backbone that he needs. You know,
Well, yeah, I didn't have a backbone with Jasmine. He's not going to have a backbone with his own family.
well, see, that's true. You know, well, Jasmine claims that Gino was so horrible to her and he treated her so badly and he called her names, and all of that is fine for her to say, but we never saw any of it. You know, everything that she claims happened, you know, we didn't see because on the show, I've never seen Gino be horrible to her. Well, tonight, actually, he called her a B. And, you know, Cara had to calm him down because she was like, well, don't act, you know, completely out of pocket because this is the ammunition that she would need. Because, you know, if you can prove that you were in an abusive relationship, that is grounds for staying on your visa through divorce. So they had to tell Gino, you know, control yourself because, you know, she's antagonizing you. Her job is to show up here with her baby daddy and antagonize you and make it seem like you're angry, you're uncontrollable, unpredictable, and violent. And, you know, that's going to be her ticket to stay into the U.S. And I think that Gina wasn't aware of that. But Cara was trying to tell him, like, calm the hell down. Her job is to piss you off. She's here with her baby daddy because she knows it's going to piss you off. Do not give her what she wants. It's kind of like what
Don't give her
happened.
the ammo that she's looking
Well,
for,
exactly.
basically.
And I think Gino, he got really angry. You know, when you first see somebody that you're really upset with, that first initial interaction, it can be explosive, right? Like when I see somebody that's been, talking shit about me, or I finally run into them in person, it's not going to be a calm conversation. And I think that was probably Gino's first time running into Jasmine, and he let it all out. But you got to be very careful of how you act when there's cameras and people and witnesses around, right? Because she's going to, just like he went to immigration and he started a bunch of shit and said that she's a fraudster and a scammer, she can also go and say, well, he was verbally abusive, he was angry, he was screaming, and then she can play these videos of him cussing at her, and that would
Yeah.
be ammunition for her to use against him. So you just gotta be really careful.
Yeah, they're both toxic for each other, and unfortunately, I'm over them already. Like, I'm over it. It's been 2 years, 3 years of this going back and forth. I'm over it, and I'm done with it.
I just want them to divorce and then go away. Is that
Yeah.
wrong? Like, is that wrong? Like, you know how
No.
some I'm just tired of okay, so my big example that I always use is the Sister Wives show. Like, I don't know if you watch Sister Wives, but they've been breaking up for like the last 5 seasons. I don't
Yeah,
feel
I've
like
heard.
yeah, and I feel like that's so unnecessary. Like, and I feel like Jasmine and Gino have been breaking up for like the last 5 seasons too. I just want to be released from this. I don't want to be a part of it anymore. Like, just go away, get divorced, and just leave because I don't want to follow.
I think we should all sue them for support because we need it after putting up with this shit for so long, and I'm done with it. It could have been done 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and clearly it wasn't because all they were in it for was the paycheck, and then we have to go through pain and suffering.
I agree. Gino could have ended all of this when she arrived, and 2 months after she arrived, she moved out. He could have filed for divorce right then and there, and this would have been over. And everybody would be happy. She would be with her man. He would be single. Oh, so Natalie showed up. Did we talk about that? So Natalie showed up, and she tried to confront Gino's wife, Jasmine, about her putting her hands on him. So did you notice tonight that Jasmine, anytime somebody called her out or tried to hold her accountable, she walked off the stage?
Yes, and it was pissing me off. It was driving me mad, and production should have been like, no, sit down, take it, step up, and take some accountability. But they know they let her do whatever she wants.
They
And that's
do.
the problem with production, with TLC. They let her do
Well,
whatever she wants when she wants. And no, no, you need to take accountability. You need to step up. You need to sit there and take it, answer the questions, and not like be victimized and call yourself a victim at all given times because it's not always about you.
yeah, I do like that they made her sit back down and they let Natalie finish her statement. Like, she didn't get any accountability. I guess Natalie thought she was going to get an apology. Silly Natalie, but she didn't get that. All actually, Jasmine started. What was she doing? Singing and trying to ignore
She's like
that.
humming, trying to avoid
Yeah,
it.
like humming, like she wasn't really there. And a lot of people said that that's a very narcissistic trait. Like, when someone tries to hold you accountable, you just don't listen. And it's true. Like, and she would get up and walk away. She's like, I'm not doing this. And I was like, oh, so when you want to talk about other people and you want to say how horrible Gina was, we have to sit down and listen. But when other people want to talk about things that you did or things that you should be accountable for, you don't have to listen. That is narcissistic, right? It is. Like, you only want to hear what you want to hear. And at the end of the day, they let her physically assault Natalie on the show, and they didn't do anything about it. And, if this, I hate to do this, but if Jasmine was a man and a man physically assaulted a woman on the show, they would have fired the man from the network.
Exactly.
But since Jasmine is a woman, not only did they allow it, they glorified it. They even brought the woman back after being assaulted so they could
They
compress each
encourage
other.
the environment. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, or a woman and a man going at each other, or a woman against a woman, or a man against a man. There should not be double standards and should be held accountable. Like, what's her face held herself very, is it Nicole? What's her name?
Natalie.
Natalie,
Natalie.
sorry. She held herself to the highest standards. I'm like, dang, this girl is in her 50s. I'm like, damn,
53.
okay.
She looks
Yeah.
amazing, by the way. She looks
She
amazing.
does. I was just like, damn, okay. Like she looks like she's like in her 40s. I'm like, okay. But she even said at one point she said, I can understand where Jasmine was coming from, right? But in no shape or form did Jasmine say the same thing, like and say like, okay, I came in hot, right? I was coming in
Right.
hot. Where she could
It's
have
just
said, yes, I came in hot because of emotions and whatever, but I'm sorry that I did that to you. It shouldn't have been on you. My anger should have been on Gino, not on you, because you were just an innocent bystander in this.
innocent bystander. Yeah, she showed up. Well, the funny part is Jasmine showed up with her boyfriend. Gino showed up with his.
Well, with her roommate, she called him the
Right.
roommate at
Well,
that time.
she was pregnant though. Like you can't get pregnant. I can't say I've had roommates. I haven't, but I'm pretty sure I wasn't gonna get any of them pregnant. That's not how roommates work with me. I don't know if that's how they work with Jasmine, but I'm pretty sure if I had one, I'm not gonna get them pregnant. That's a step up from roommate, right?
Yeah.
Because roommates aren't supposed to be having sex. Period. Like that's a whole different situation. But the fact that she showed up with her baby daddy, her boyfriend, Gino showed up with a woman, and she assaulted that woman, and the network allowed her to stay. Because I hate to bring this up, but Angela got shunned from the show because of
Yeah.
the same situation, right? Same thing, right? But for some reason, Jasmine is the golden child, and she can assault as many people as she wants, and
Yes,
nothing
but at
happens.
the same time, right now, Jasmine is the golden child right now,
Hmm.
right? How many times did Angela throw a cake in Michael's face?
I mean, yeah, she threw things at him. She never hit him. Nat,
No,
Jasmine,
I,
Jasmine physically put her hands on Natalie, and I feel like all types of abuse should be handled the same way. And I don't know. I just feel like the fact that we're still watching Nat or Jasmine after all of the stuff that she's done, right? She threw a shoe at Rob. She assaulted Natalie, and she's just like she's still the
and right
golden
now
child.
TLC is so desperate to find somebody who can be the new Jasmine, so they can be the new puppet, and then she'll be put on the shelf, like Elf on the Shelf, and won't be back.
Oh well, Nikki says Madeline is on deck. Madeline is definitely in training. You know what's funny? Shabuti said this like over a month ago. He's like, I think, or was it you? Somebody told me they were like, I think Madeline is in training to be the new Jasmine, and I
I
was
think
like,
it was
no,
Shabuti because I can't stand Madeline.
yeah, maybe it was Shabuti, and I was like, no, I don't think that's her. And now that I've watched her more each week, she is in training, right? She does have that violent streak. She throws things. She threw a cake at him. She throws drinks at him. And I was like, she's working her way up, to getting to that point. And I was like, I don't know. It seems like the network is against it, but they're also for it. And you can't be for and against something. You have to take a
Mm-hmm.
stand. You have to be on one side of the fence. And it's like, oh yeah, we're for it as long as it's not a man abusing a woman. If it's a woman abusing a man, that's funny, right? They think that's fine because it's not the same. It is 100% the same. And I do think that they're gonna have to start, you know, treating it the same. Because at the end of the day, I don't mind watching it, but I do think that people need to be treated fairly in the
Yeah.
situation. I don't want anyone abusing anyone, but you can't pick a side and say, oh, well, I don't like this person's abuse, so they're fired, but this person's abuse is entertaining, so
You
it's fine.
can't pick and choose. You can't pick and choose, basically. So we can go on with the Gino, Jasmine, and like Matt situation, like in circles for like 3 or 4 hours going back and forth. So let's move on from those because they're going to be appearing in our screens for 3 more episodes of the Tell All. So
Yeah, there's three more. We're gonna get into Brandon and Julia, and I guess they're gonna tell Ron and Betty about the pregnancy, which I think is BS. I'm pretty sure they already know. Oh, somebody mentioned it. So Sean did mention tonight that Adnan and Tiger Puff were not gonna be on the show, and the crazy chick just said in the chat, she's like, she didn't even wish them the best because usually when Sean says that, she's like, we wish them
wish
all the
them the
best.
best in their future
She
enders or
didn't
whatever.
say that. And I was like, wait, y'all are so good at catching that. She did not say we wish
No,
them the
she
best.
didn't.
So this was not a amicable separation. Isn't that the word, amicable? Because it seems
Yeah,
like
amicable means when basically both parties agree, basically.
it seemed like only one party agreed because
Yeah.
when she didn't wish them. I mean, I wasn't expecting a explanation because they're good for
No,
never
they're
giving
hush
you an
hush on
explanation.
that.
Their legal department is very good at zipping your lips, do not say what really happened. But when she didn't wish them the best, I was like, oh, this is probably a little more crazy than we thought. I got a lot of insider information about it too, and I got information that the filming crew was at their cabin, and during the filming there was an argument between Adnan and the filming crew regarding the baby getting paid, right? Because
Hmm.
each person gets an appearance fee. Adnan gets a check. Tiger Lily gets a check, and there is a fight saying because they don't pay for the children when they're born onto the show. They're not part of the contract. It's just everyone over 18. So the situation got really heated, and what I was told was Adnan began picking up the equipment and throwing it outside. Now, Gina, you know that the equipment that they use to film these shows are extremely expensive. Like these
Oh, I know.
cameras. So this is the information I was given. Now, this is rumored. I don't know what happened in Frisco, Texas or whatever. I wasn't there, but I know that I was told he said, I'm not filming. And they continued to film because contractually they could continue to film. And he began picking up their equipment and removing it from his home, her home, whoever's home. And that's kind of how this all happened. And then, because a lot of people think that it sparked from their comments online, that was only icing on the cake. Things were already pretty bad
The
before
onion
that.
was unwrapping itself. The layers of
Yes.
the
So,
onion were lightly peeling off.
right. So they were never going to be at the tell-all. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, they're not going to be at the tell-all." They edited them out of the tell-all. They were never invited because this situation that I'm telling you about now happened much earlier this year,
Well, the
beginning of
tell-all was filmed in June.
yeah. This situation happened 2 months prior, so they were never invited to the tell-all. So this was I'm happy that this is finally unraveling because I can at least release as much information that I can to get you guys up to date. So I think I told y'all before I was like, this was like an escalating situation. Like it started and then it kept escalating as time went on to the point where because TLC is pretty or Sharp is pretty um lenient. As long as you make it to where they can film with you, they'll film with you. But like I said, it was impossible. And when you start to question your safety, as an employee, because they didn't feel safe, they felt like
Well, that's good. Like Shark stepped in and we were like, absolutely not. The first people that we care about is our production and about our equipment. Well, probably the equipment over over the crew, but regardless, right? They made that decision. We're going to protect our crew because this man who knows what can happen in his hands. So he becomes a liability.
yeah. And it's funny because Gina, I never liked them. Like they've never been a
Oh
favorite of
God.
mine. I've never wanted them on the show. Her voice irritated me, and he
Yes.
he irritated me to no end. So this all worked out, right? Because I was like, oh, they're no longer on the show. I didn't want them on the show. When I found out they were doing another season, I think my reaction was I was angry. I was like, I can't deal with another. I thought there are laws for infant actors. So there are laws. Okay, so let me get into that a little bit. So taking legal action for damage. I don't know the answer to that question. So I don't. That information was not information available to me. So I don't know that. I do know that they are no longer contractually obligated to do any more shows. TLC has removed
Null and void
themselves.
of the contract
Yes.
moving forward.
So I know the infant actor laws that started with Teen Mom. Oh my gosh, like almost 20 years ago. At first, they weren't paying those children on the show. So there became, and I think it became more prominent for people to get this information when we found out that Honey Boo Boo's mom spent every single penny that Honey Boo Boo Alana had made. And it started to be more prominent that there needed to be laws to protect these children because that money should have been for the child. And the mom used the money, I don't want to say, I would say allegedly, for other stuff, drugs maybe. I don't know what she did. But she spent every single penny. So when that girl turned 18, she thought she had hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank. And it turned out that she had $0 in the bank. So the law now has it to where the children are paid in a trust that they can either touch at 18 or 21. I think it's 21 in most states. And nobody, not even the parent, can make a withdrawal from that account. Only that child at that age of maturity. The parent
That's
can't go
good.
and make
That's the way it needs to be. I think maybe the only exception to that rule is maybe to pay for college tuition.
Yeah, I agree. And,
Yeah.
you know, it shouldn't, like, you're right. It shouldn't be when they turn 21, they go buy a $200,000 car. It should be they can go to college or they can.
Yeah, I think it's like here, if something's put in a trust at like 17, 18 years old, they will allow that money to be, and it goes directly to the school, so it doesn't even go into your hands, basically. And I think the same applies to the states because you're furthering your education, right? You're not wasting it on anything. So I think there's a little bit of bending the rules when it comes to that.
Well, yeah, as long as the money is being used in a way that is going to benefit the child. And I think it should go before a judge. Like, you know how if you have a trust, in order to make a certain withdrawal over a certain amount, you have to go before a judge to get it approved. I think that that's important, you know, because parents can make it seem like it's something that's important. A judge should make that decision because Honey Boo Boo's mom decided whatever she wanted to do with that girl's money was important and she spent it all.
Yeah.
So you a parent who you think you should trust can't. So I think what Adnan was trying to fight for was he wanted to get money for his son, which is not unheard of. But the only issue was they had already signed a contract for that season. And then he was trying to
contract didn't have the son's name on it.
Exactly. So you can't go back and say, we're in the middle of filming, but now I want you to pay him. They're like, well, you signed the contract. The contract is for this season. That would be something that you would have had to bring before us in contract negotiations. And keep in mind, they've never paid anybody for their child to be put on the show. No one has ever done that. So the idea of them changing, I mean, I do agree. I think that children, if they're going to be on TV and scrutinized by the public, there should be money put away somewhere.
No, and I agree too. But how much screen time is a baby actually going to get?
Well, not much. You know, I
think
the show is definitely not focused on the children from the relationships. It's more focused on the adults and the relationship issues. So, like, to say that he wanted the child to get the same amount of money per episode when the child was only going to, say, for instance, him and Tiger Lily are on for 10 to 15 minutes an episode. That child might be on for 2 minutes. It wouldn't make sense for them to get the same amount of money because screen time wise, it's not the same. But exactly. I mean, I hate to agree with him, but if the child is going to be on TV and on streaming, because it's forever, it doesn't go away, there should be money put away. And I think maybe this might spark a conversation in the future where they might add something into the contracts moving forward, where if you have a baby on the show in the relationship, maybe they could put something away in a trust for the child.
Who knows? Okay.
Who knows? You know, the show is like 12 years old and they've never done it. So it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. They might look at it as we've never had to do that, so we don't feel like we have to. But at the end
we never had an issue with it before. We ain't gonna start now. We ain't gonna break anything. Like why?
Well, right. If it ain't broke, they're not gonna fix it. So yeah, they're done. So you're not gonna see them anymore. I think it's weird that. Because I think she was in contact with Shabuti, and she told him earlier on that there was a chance that she would be back and they would be on the tell-all. So,
yeah, I remember that. Because we're just like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, and then IMDb wasn't showing any of the recaps from the episode, any of their names on it. And then I'm like, I don't think that's true. I think she's lying to you. Whatever she's coming up with, it's a lie.
No, there's no chance. And I don't know who she was talking to. Oh wait, it's Sister Wives. Okay, so Coast Coast teacher says Sister Wives never did that for the kids, or neither did Kate +8. Can you imagine? Because in the Sister Wives show, didn't they have like 30-something kids? Can you
Oh,
imagine if they
yeah.
had to pay all them kids, Gina, on Sister Wives? Like, I'm pretty sure that man had like 35
It's a
kids.
different production company, right? So, like 90
I
Day is
I
different
think
from
it's
Sister Wives.
I think it's Sharp too. I think.
I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah, and John and K plus 8. That's interesting too because that was like one of the first shows where they prominently focused on children. So that's interesting too. But back in those days, like when the Teen Mom shows were on, they didn't realize that even though the first thought was they're under 18, we don't have to pay them, right? That's what the
So
first
they
argument.
thought that they were going to get away with it, basically.
Yes, but now in 2025, we know, yeah, just because they're under 18 doesn't mean that you shouldn't pay them. First of all, they shouldn't be on TV, right? Because they're under 18. So first of all, that's wrong. So if you're gonna put them on TV, you should definitely put something away for those kids when they get older, and don't give it to their parents because a lot of and it started out with on Teen Mom where they were giving the money to the parents. The parents were spending the money, right? Because you give a 16-year-old mom $25,000. What do you think that 16-year-old mom is gonna do? She's gonna buy a car. She's gonna go to Cancun. She's gonna do everything except save for that child's future. So
Exactly.
you have to be smart about it. So hopefully, in the future, children are being compensated for
Are being
being on
protected.
and
Yeah.
being protected. Yeah, for being on the shows and everything. So unfortunately for Adnan, he went about it in the wrong way. Right. And this is
Yeah.
all allegedly, by the way. Allegedly. This is
Well,
information
we
that
know he needs anger management. He has anger management problems, and he needs to go
does.
seek help. Like we
He
already.
does. He said on the show, one of the last episodes that he was on, he was like, I'll make a problem. Remember, she was like, what's the problem? He's like, I'll be the problem. I'll make the problem. He's definitely angry. But we'll never see them again. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm totally fine with that.
I'm
I
fine
wasn't
with
a
it.
fan.
I'm not crying over it. I'm happy about it. I'm like, in the words of Sean, they cannot be present, and we wish them well. And
Well,
moving
yeah,
on,
I guess we'll wish them well because
we wish them well.
Sean was just like, deuces.
Bye, Felicia.
She was like, bye, I don't care. All right, so Cara and Guillermo were on, and it seemed like Cara was team Gino. Did that
She
surprise
was
you?
Team Gino, but at the same time, she's just being Switzerland, and I'm like, just pick a fucking side, right? Like, who are you really on, right? Like
Well,
she was leaning towards more Gino's side than Jasmine's side, but yeah.
I was surprised by that because usually the women on the show stick together,
Mm-hmm.
and which I have no problem with. I think women definitely should look out for each other more. But you know how I feel about Jasmine, and it's hard for me to like I said, I can't pick a side because
Sympathize.
yeah, I can't. It's hard because they're both wrong 100 times over. But for the ladies who are just like, oh well, Jasmine, I have to pick her side because we both are women. I'm like, it's not a good enough reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to, because a lot of women who hear her story, they agree that she was in an unhappy marriage, but they don't agree that when you're in an unhappy marriage, it gives you the right to just go sleep with anybody you meet at the gym, right? Like
Exactly.
I understand that part, but yeah, Cara decided that she wanted to take the side of Switzerland. I mean, she was leaning towards Gino because she was
Yes,
co-signing a
she
lot that
was. She was leaning more towards Gino, but she also did not want to get in the middle of that BS.
right,
So
because
she was Switzerland.
every now and then she would co-sign Gino, and then every now and then she just wouldn't say anything at all. And that's
Yeah.
definitely that's Switzerland. They're just like,
That's Switzerland.
oh yeah, we agree. And then when the camera spotlights on them, they're like, we didn't say anything. Yeah, we didn't say anything.
I
Like
want
that.
no part of this drama.
Yeah. So
What
I
do
mean,
I always say? Not my monkey, not my circus.
so Sean, how do you think Sean did tonight? I wanted to ask you, did you
I
like her?
actually think she did better than prior seasons. Better. Not like maybe by 5 to 10% better than what from prior seasons. Wasn't a lot of a difference, but there was
I
some
you know,
slight
I thought that
changes.
she had maybe watched a little more of the show.
Hmm.
I felt like she watched the highlight reel twice.
Or she watched what Suki did and was just like, shit, my job might be on the line, and I need to start acting like I'm interested in these people's lives.
Well, you should be. I mean, to be the host of a tell-all for a show, you should be just as engaged as the fans. Because at the end of the day, the tell-all host or the reunion host they represent everybody who loves the show. They're us, and they're representing us. We're obsessed with the show. You should be just as obsessed. Like, and Shabuti says it all the time. Andy Cohen is
Yeah, he's
obsessed,
a great host.
and he's obsessed. He watched every episode twice. He knows everything that's going on the show, off the show, online, offline, everything. And
He
in
knows
order to
all the
qualify,
tea.
well, right. And in order to qualify to host a tell-all, you should know everything. You should know drama. You should know unverified drama. You should know everything.
You don't have a fear in stepping on anyone's toes. You just know how to do it and still be their friend, basically, at the end of the day. Or still, like, they have respect for you, you have respect for them. And that's what makes a good host.
I think she did better, and like you said,
There was a room for improvement from last
she
time she hosted, and she executed that. So she went from like a D to like a C minus.
so she's like a 6'7".
6,
Did you
7.
get the reference? She's like a
Yes, I did.
you get the reference? Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're saying nowadays. You know?
I know. I know.
She's like a 6'7", 6'7". You know,
Yeah.
6 out of 7. She's getting better, but at the end of the day, she might be at the end of her ropes, and maybe she should pass the torch to Suki. I love Suki, and
I love Suki. I'm like, this is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. This is a mess.
I've watched things that she hosted, and she's good. She's an amazing host. But yeah, so we got 3 more to go. So
I told you.
Yeah,
like,
you were
it's only gonna be 2, and I'm like, I don't think so.
You were the one that told me that. I thought it was only 2 because they weren't gonna have Adnan and Tiger Puff, but you were right. It's 4. I don't know why, because we did so much tonight. So I don't know what we're gonna do for the next 3 episodes. I'm assuming nothing. So
yeah, I just felt like when they were in the house, I was like, why? Why am I watching this? I felt like I was watching a scene from like I was reliving my high school years and the pettiness and like the going back and forth and the fighting, and I was just like, why do I feel like I'm in high school all over again? Or I'm watching a high school sitcom like 902, like, or a high school show like 90210 or Melrose Place. I'm like, get me the hell out of here.
It did give me like the Real World vibes where they put everybody together, and then they're just like, they stir up drama and then try to watch people. So Jovi threw a water bottle at Andre. That was cool, right? That was cool.
Yeah, like it just felt like a scene, like a high school like movie, like everyone's getting shit-faced, like drunk at the poolside type of thing like that.
Well, they knew what they were doing. They put an open bar with a bartender in the house. So they were like, let's get everyone sauced, and then they'll fight with each other, which they kind of did. Which makes you wonder if they really are against violence, because I feel like fueling people that don't like each other with alcohol is kind of condoning it, because what do you think is going to happen, right? So Andre finally met his match. He started crap with Jovi, and Jovi was like, I'm ready. Like, let's fight. And Andre didn't know how to handle it, because Andre's usually yelling at women who don't fight back. So Andre didn't really know what to make of the situation. He was like, wow, he threw something at me. Like, he's not used to people fighting back. He's used to yelling and being nasty to women.
Well, he would fight with, what's his face, with his brother-in-law, but his brother-in-law can't even stand still because he's drunk.
Yeah, that fight was really embarrassing, right? Like, he got like maybe a slap in, and then he was on the ground. I was like, you didn't even hit him. Now you on the ground. Like, he swung and fell on the ground, and it was like, once he was down, he couldn't even get back up.
Yeah,
and
it was like what? It was like playing Punch, the old school Nintendo.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my god.
So Andre will need to be a little careful, because when you're with people that might actually smack you, you got to watch your mouth.
Well,
right?
He's just like Jasmine, like, but except he's more of like a pit bull, and then when a bigger pit bull comes around, then he's just like, I'm gonna bow out. And Jasmine's just like a chihuahua, like all bark, no action.
Well, yeah, he wants to talk a lot of crap, but he doesn't want to back it up. And I think he finally saw that, hey,
He met his
you,
match.
you can meet somebody who is just as much as a hothead as you, and you might get your nose broke, right? Like so you got to be careful what you say. All right, so we'll talk more about The Other Way tomorrow, but we'll watch The Other Way tomorrow, and we'll watch part 2, 3, and 4 of this. We have to, right? I feel like we're obligated.
Yeah, we're in it for the long haul, unfortunately, as you can tell
Well,
by
we've come this far. That's like
I know.
it's like if you're watching baseball and you stop watching at the playoffs. You've come this far. You have to finish it. You have to know who won, right? Like you
Well,
have
yeah,
to know.
I just
Oh,
never
wait.
know.
Did y'all not win? I heard y'all didn't win.
I don't want to talk about that.
Oh, well, we're not talking about that? Okay, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that.
The Dodgers won, but that was like 2 weeks ago, George, or like on the
Well,
first.
Gina, I don't know any of this. I heard it somewhere randomly, and I was like, oh no. When I heard the name of who won, I was like, that's not where Gina lives, so that's probably
I
bad.
don't even live in Toronto. It's just that
But you
Canada.
live in Canada.
But Toronto is the only team that plays for Major League Baseball.
Well, right. So you have to claim them because it's
Exactly. Like we claim the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, you have to because it's your country. So unfortunately, they didn't win. The Dodgers won. I heard that they're in Los Angeles. I think.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
LA Dodgers.
Cool. Congrats to them. I went online. I'm gonna get a jersey. Their jerseys are really cool looking. I'm getting one. So.
Oh, of course you are. I have an LA Dodgers hat that I was not wearing that any time. Like I got it when I was in LA. So
I'm gonna get one. I just like baseball jerseys in general, though.
I like soccer jerseys, but I'm a soccer fan. So
I don't like soccer jerseys.
You know why you don't like soccer jerseys? They're slim fit. That's why. They're tiny.
They remind me of compression, like
Socks.
yoga clothes.
Yeah.
I don't find that comfortable. And in Florida, it's too hot to wear something that's stuck to your skin. It's too hot.
A lot of them are breathable. So, but
I just don't like them. When I see grown adult men walking around in soccer attire, I'm like, who raised you? Like, that is so weird. Like, why are you dressed like you're about to play soccer? You're someone's dad. Like, you do not play soccer. Go put some regular clothes on. That's so strange. Isn't it? It's strange to me.
But
all right,
if
guys.
anybody finds the Hello Kitty Starbucks merchandise, please send it my way. Because my ass woke up at 4:30 in the morning on Thursday and I was shit out of luck. So I think the States have more options than we do here. So.
Oh, well, text me where to find it. Maybe I can look for it. You know,
Target and Starbucks.
Oh, okay. I'll check.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
We're tapping out. We're tapping out, y'all. Everybody have a wonderful week. Have a good holiday. Not tomorrow, but Tuesday. And we'll talk to you guys really soon. Thanks to Gina for joining me. Everybody have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you soon.
Good night, guys. Bye.
Okay, bye.